Hello.
Hello. What a fascinating book.
Amazing, right?
Wow. Those designs.
This is a Spanish uh, graphic novelist
Hmm.
and illustrator named Bardin or Bardin.
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 It's got the accent on the I, right? Final one.
Yeah, exactly. So
Bardin.
Bardin.
It's very cool. Where did you get that?
I have it out from the library actually, from
Oh, so,
Salaborza
oh,
in Bologna.
really?
Oh yes. So do you have a library card here in Bologna?
Julia has one, so yeah,
Yeah, so you could check it out once I give it back, which will be, I'm not sure when.
never.
Right, exactly. No, it's interesting. So this is the title. So his name's, yeah, Bardin. I mean, even on the cover, look at how cool that
That's so
artwork is.
cool. That is really cool.
And
What
I
is that?
had
Is that like a
one,
pig in a bowler hat? It is,
um,
isn't it?
what's that?
A pig in a
It's
hat.
not a pig. It's a man that has a dog that on four legs with a dog tail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know what is he eating?
A fish?
Oh yeah, maybe it's. Oh, you're right. I see why you think it's a pig because he has that pig nose.
Yeah, he's got like that snout, doesn't he?
Interesting. Yeah, yeah, it's
That's
interesting.
very
So
cool.
I got this out of Salaborsa, and I'm really glad to have because it's hit or miss with the library. Sometimes you
Hmm.
get something from the library and go, "Wow, this is amazing," and other times it's like, "Okay, well, I'll return it and get other
At least
things."
I didn't spend any money.
Yeah, and at the library in Bologna, you can get up to 10 books at a time.
Wow.
Yeah, so I usually get lately I've been getting 10 books at a time. Yeah, so it's cool.
Not
So, and I
bad.
almost always will get a few graphic novels because I love graphic novels, right? So I'll usually,
Yeah,
and my roommate
let's
is an
write that up.
illustrator. So I usually
Hmm.
leave one in the bathroom, one in the dining room, and one in my bedroom. So they're everywhere you go, there's graphic
That's
novels.
really cool.
Yeah, it's
And
really
they
cool.
rotate as well because I mean
Yeah.
you're checking them in, checking them out.
Yeah. But my friend's birthday was right when the quarantine started, and I wanted to buy
Hmm.
her this book. But then we started the quarantine, and that was not possible. So, but I think, for example, my friend would love it. I think, yeah, it's a certain type of creative mind that would really love this particular book. So,
Definitely,
mm-mm-mm.
definitely.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. I need to go and check them out because I didn't know that they had such a variety even in Spanish.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
they do have sipisapa.
maybe. Yeah, I found an amazing it's Argentinian called Liniers, Liniers, and an
Uh-huh.
Argentinian graphic designer and illustrator. And I found a book of his there too. When you go into Sala Borsa to the library in Bologna, go straight in
Uh-huh.
and then you go to the left and you go way at the end and there's the whole area where there's like comics and stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wow, wow, wow. So if
Yeah.
you ever come to Bologna, everyone, I think we've got Lavinia from Milan.
Hello,
I
Lavinia.
recognize your face. And we also have Alice from
Yes.
Venice.
Hello, Alice or Alice,
Hello,
if
hello.
you prefer. And I brought some parsley with us today. So,
Wow.
nice. And yes,
Oh,
as it
it's
says,
so fresh as well.
it's so fresh. Yeah, I got it because yesterday was the start of of Passover. So
Mm.
to celebrate Passover, you also have parsley. It's considered like a bitter herb. So I thought at the market they only sold the parsley in like a huge bunch. And I thought, okay, well, it's nice to have
Why
fresh
not?
herbs, right? Why not?
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Definitely. We've also got Chiara from Geneva
Hello.
and another Alice or Alice, whatever you like,
Fantastic.
from
Yeah.
Turin.
Kiara,
Perfect.
very nice dog with glasses. Is that a photo of your dog?
I think it's a fox.
Oh, fox. So,
You
I'm not
know
able.
they've domesticated foxes in Russia.
Really?
Yeah, they become gray. They become silver.
Gray and old.
Maybe, I don't know. That it's very strange. They're not like dogs though, because dogs they look for affection, and foxes don't. They're a little bit more like a cat, I guess.
Oh yeah, I'm more of a cat person. What
It's
about
really
you?
cool. I'm more of a dog person.
Hmm.
Personally, I had one dog growing up.
Oh, nice. And I had one cat
80.
growing up. There you go.
There you go.
So for our friends joining us
Imprinting.
here, do you like libraries? We want to know,
Yeah.
first and foremost, do you like libraries? I think the photo behind our heads is not a library. It looks more like someone's bookshelf,
Study.
study, library. It reminds me of the game Clue.
What, Cluedo?
Yeah, yeah. Do you call it Cluedo in England?
I call it Cluedo in England. Yeah.
Wow, that's funny because in the States we call it Clue. And I thought
Mm.
it was only in Italian that it was Cluedo. That's very interesting.
No, it was strange the first time I came to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard it pronounced like Cluedo. I was like, oh, are you joking? It's Cluedo.
Dude, but that's like Van Halen, right? When you hear
Yeah.
Van Halen, you go, I'm sorry? Excuse me?
Yeah. Or Udue as well.
Yeah.
They're all very strange. Very, very strange.
Yeah.
So do you like libraries, Monique?
I adore libraries.
Wow.
I love libraries. It's
That's
been
a passion.
about 6 years that I've really loved going to libraries. So I guess in the past 6 years, I've lived in a few different places. I lived in Brooklyn, in New York for 2 years, and I totally had my Brooklyn Library membership, and I would go frequently. And then I was living in Los Angeles, and there too, I had my library card and would go frequently to the library. And now in Bologna, I also have my library card. And I would say, I mean, when we're not in quarantine, I go probably once every 2 weeks or so, and I get a new bunch of books, right?
A new batch.
You can get up to 10 books at a time.
That's so good.
It's based, it's how much I can fit in my backpack and on my bicycle. What about you?
I'm just imagining you weighed down with books.
Yeah, I either what I have to be careful with my bicycle is quantity of books and quantity of vegetables. I'm serious. These are the two things.
These are two of your many loves in life, I think, because you have a lot of passions.
Yes, exactly. What about you, Alex? Do you like libraries?
I used to like libraries, I think, but I kind of had the opposite effect. When I started traveling and moving to different cities, I bought a Kindle and read ebooks, so that I wouldn't have to, carry around books or worry about having too many things. I think it's something that I should get back into though, because libraries are wonderful places.
Library is you can take something and then give it back, right? I like giving books to the library. Like if I've read a book and I have a book that I'm not reading anymore, I quite like to donate it to the library.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Have you donated to Salabosa? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah. I've donated 10 books.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's really cool.
Let's see.
We've got some answers as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Lavinia. I love the library's atmosphere, but I prefer bookshops because I like to buy books as I have the habit of underlining. So with ING, the habit of underlining the sentences I like. I live the books. That's cool, Lavinia. Yeah, that makes sense to me. That's very clear. Yeah.
It's very, very clear. My mom, she's Spanish, and when she started studying English, or quite advanced, she used to write notes or like summaries of what she had just read in a chapter. So we've got old copies of Lord of the Rings where there are loads of footnotes, all explaining what is going on.
That's so cool.
It's very, very cool.
Does your mom teach Spanish?
Yeah, she does.
That's wild.
She still does.
Cool.
Alicia says that, or Alice, I like libraries and bookshops. So we need to pluralize that because it's in general. But sometimes I buy books on Amazon.
Nice. Yeah, Alice, there's also,
Lavinia
you
too.
can also, you with Sala Borsa also in Bologna, libraries now have like electronic books, ebooks that you can also check out, just like you would a physical book. You check out the ebook, read it, and then give it back.
That's cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Something that I've done recently is start listening to audiobooks because I realized that I spent a lot of time either cycling or in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So I just put an audiobook on so I can still drive safely, but
Very
listen.
Cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
I used to study in a library when I was a student, but I prefer buying books because I feel possession for my books. Okay, so you possess your books. Okay. And I'm the opposite. Yeah, I love, especially with graphic novels. For example, this is a graphic novel I really like. It's a Roman illustrator called Nikos Balboa, and the book's called Born to Lose. And I got this from Sala Borsa, but look how big it is, right? This book is quite large. I mean, it's fun, but when you have graphic novels, a lot of times they just take up a lot of space, right? Very spread out. So they're heavy books. So I don't like to have too many possessions. I like to take it, read it, and give it back personally.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm on the buying book side as well.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think. Well, we bought a bookshelf.
I can see it
and we need to fill it up. Oh, you think this is my bookshelf? One day.
Yeah.
One day.
Would you like to have a bookshelf, like a study like that?
Yeah.
See, me, not so much.
Definitely. That with loads of different works, like photography work.
That's
books.
Cool. Yeah.
Those would be really cool. I'd really, really love that.
Nice.
But still. So today, surprise.
Monica, ready?
Nice.
Thank you.
Really nice. We are talking book reviews.
Indeed.
This is a bit of an interesting one because we were talking about we've got some more comments as well. Who writes book reviews? Like, are there many people, especially in this day and age?
Yeah.
Loads of people spend more time maybe online watching videos than reading now.
Yeah. There's nothing compares, though, in my opinion, to a book.
No, because you lose yourself.
To have words and paper, and it's, for me at least, it's much more relaxing for the eyes. If I can look at the book, I mean, it's still tiring for the eyes, but I feel like there's so much screen action lately,
Yeah. Really, Money.
Yeah. So let's see what Alice says. She says, I prefer buying books in their original language. I prefer reading in Spanish and in French. It is more difficult for me to read in English because of my bad English. No.
It's not true.
Lovely. Yeah.
It's not true. Your English is good.
Yeah. So
get a good book.
I agree with you. I also prefer reading in the original language. The same with films. When possible, I much prefer the original language. Yeah.
Definitely. And Lavinia also says that in some cities of Italy, you can find books in pharmacies, little supermarkets, restaurants, etc. You can bring them home, and once you've finished reading them, you can bring them back to another place. Are those the mobile libraries, the little boxes?
I think that's what she's referring to. Yeah.
They're really cool. Because you find them in remote locations as well.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of nowhere, and there's just a little. In England, for example, we have the very famous telephone boxes.
Yeah.
The red ones with telephone written there. So no one uses them anymore because everyone has a mobile phone. So a lot of them in villages and small towns are being repurposed as mobile libraries. So you can leave your books there
That's very
and
cool.
take them, they're very, very cool.
I wonder if people know the verb to repurpose. It means to give a new purpose to, right? To repurpose something. That's fantastic, though. Wow.
Yeah,
Very-
it's usually also to give new life to something. So the telephone boxes, they're obsolete. They're not needed anymore. They're very nice for tourists,
They're beautiful.
but
Yeah.
for locals, we don't use them.
Yeah,
So find a new use for them.
purpose. Yeah, new use. Very cool.
Okay. So, Monique, the question on everyone's mind.
Mhm.
What's your favorite type of book and why?
My favorite type of book is a graphic novel. Why? Because it makes me dream, it makes me happy, it makes me think, it opens my mind. Let's see, I brought another graphic novel. For example, this is a French author called Julian Neal. He's also a graphic novelist. And I also got this one from Sala Borsa. I'll show you some of the graphics. It's a very sweet story. For example, not sure if you can see it, but
I'm gonna zoom in one second. There you
Okay.
go.
yeah, it's really nice. This one, for example, is in Italian, but I just love the drawings. It's a very, very sweet story too. So I would say
Nice.
novels. What about you, Alex? What's your favorite type of book and why?
I really like photo books, but my favorite one has to be anything fiction, like fantasy, but it needs to be something captivating, something that takes me out of reality. I
Yeah.
really, really dislike war movies and war books because it's the world that we live in, and I don't need to read more about it.
Well, you can go on to the Guardian opinion section.
Right, exactly. I already do that. So when I read a book, I want to be transported to another time, another place,
Sure.
something that opens your mind a little or makes you think.
Yeah. So
Differently.
you're reading. Tell us your favorite type of book and why. Also, one thing to remember is fiction, nonfiction. From a young age, I was confused which was which.
Yeah, it's
Fiction,
strange, isn't
I
it?
just associate with the word fake, right? Fiction, fake, nonfiction, not fake. So, for example, I have a lovely nonfiction book right now, also from Sala Borsa, which is a manual for chess, right? I love the game of chess. So, this is very dry reading, though, right? This is not a love story. No, this has diagrams and says B4 to B5.
That's
But
very cool.
I also like nonfiction books, sort of things about not so much about war and about history, but about, for example, chess, for example, about vegetables, about herbs, these type of like books about health, about.
I really liked the cut section ones. So I really liked nonfiction about dinosaurs, ancient
Cool.
history,
Yeah.
so Greek mythology, Romans, things that explained all of the different things. That I really, really liked. But again, it's still in my idea of it's another time, another place.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend a long time reading a novel about the Second World War.
Or the
just
Israeli
because
conflict. Yeah.
I mean, if I want to read about that, I'll read an essay about it, not a story.
Sure.
I think obviously there's merit in it, and everyone has their own taste. But for me, it's a little bit too close to home. Close to home is a nice one.
Yeah.
Close to home.
Let's see. In the meantime,
Close to reality.
What Lavinia is sharing, she says, I love books about etymology. So the spelling is ETY. as opposed to ETHI. I also am interested in that. Books about etymologies and psychological books. I like when the
Nice.
personalities of the characters, so our personalities, are well defined from a psychological point of view. Cool.
That's cool.
When you say etymologies, do you mean the origin of words? Etymologies?
That's what I understand, but
Yeah. I'm not sure if they're connected.
clarify, Lavinia.
Yeah, that's very cool.
We're very curious. Lavinia is the opposite of me because she says fantasy and science fiction, on the other hand, are not her cup of tea.
Yeah.
Very
Very nice usage of that lovely, lovely idiom.
Very nice.
Wonderful.
Very nice. And she further adds that her fave book is Fever Pitch by Nick Hornby, where he describes his passion for football. Sorry for writing too much today. Don't say sorry for that, please.
No need to
Keep
apologize.
on writing.
Yeah,
Keep
we
on
like
writing.
we're here to share together, right?
And yeah, she says yes.
Oh, how cool.
That is very cool. I love a good etymology as well.
Me too, yeah. And Alice here says, my favorite type of book is a fiction book, but also scientific. I'm reading
Non-fiction,
two books right now. Wow, 2 books. One is about health nutrition. The other one is a crime novel in Spanish. That's fantastic, Alice.
So talented.
Yeah,
Really cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I'm sort of reading 10 books and no books.
You're juggling.
Yeah, I haven't really been reading as much as I usually do, which is funny because we're in quarantine, we're at home. But for example, here's another book I like. This is very, very much nonfiction, and it's called The 4 Agreements. Have you heard of it?
Oh, it
Yeah,
looks fascinating though.
by Don Miguel Ruiz, right? So
Don Miguel Ruiz.
What?
Don Miguel Ruiz.
Exactly. And
I'll turn on the Spanish.
Yeah, exactly. It says a Toltec wisdom book. So it's about Toltec cosmovision and wisdom, and
Toltec's South American, right?
Central American or Mesoamerican.
Central. Okay, thank you.
So like Mexico and Central America.
Okay,
And it's
okay.
a beautiful book. You could call this also a self-help book, file under New Age, but it's really very well written and it's very inspiring.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's have a look at Alicia as well. So I read one per I read one for the morning, the other one for the night before going to sleep, or I switch. Actually, we can read whatever we want during this period.
I mean, Alice, we can always read whatever we want. It's just we don't always have time, right?
Yeah, no.
Good time.
Time is the enemy. And Chiara is currently reading Leviathan by Paul Auster. That sounds like a really grand novel. Well, it's Leviathan, isn't it? So
amazing, yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So let's clickety click.
Indeed.
We've got all of these.
Yeah, fiction.
With fiction, non-fiction.
Exactly. Shall we read through? I'll read through the fiction.
You choose.
Okay, I'll read fiction. So we have romance novels, crime fiction, fantasy, the classics, sci-fi novel, horror, historical fiction, or spy thriller.
And in the non-fiction section, we have historical books, philosophy, science, arts, archaeology, biographies, autobiographies, and travel writing.
Yeah, I can recommend 2 incredible autobiographies, both by film directors. One is by Akira Kurosawa, a Japanese director who is no longer alive, but who did some classic Japanese films such as Dreams. And it's called, I wrote it down, something like an autobiography. It's awesome. And the other is by Luis Buñuel, another film director, but a Spanish surrealist film director.
Very surreal.
In fact, what's interesting is Bardin was inspired very much by Luis Buñuel, which I didn't know before choosing this book. I just chose it because it interested me. Yeah, so something like an autobiography, and the other one is called My Last Breath.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, My Last Breath.
Oh, is
by
it My Last Sigh in
some,
English?
I don't know. Let's see. My
I'm
last.
Googling all of these as we go along.
Oh, okay, that's fantastic.
My
So it's
Last Sigh.
really
Wow,
cool.
even more dramatic.
Is it called My Last Sigh?
It
Oh,
says in the English version, at least. I don't know. You check that though.
yeah, I do see it's My Last Sigh. Yeah, interesting.
That is
It's
interesting because
awesome.
sigh and breath have very different connotations. If I
So,
like my last breath would suggest maybe death or the end. My last sigh.
yeah. So a sigh is,
Yeah.
but
It could
those
be
are
relief, it could be disappointment, it could be a lot of different things. So
exhaustion. Yeah, so those are
yeah,
both
I don't
great
know.
autobiographies. So an autobiography written by the person themselves, whereas biography, maybe I could write a biography of Alex Foster's life. He was born in a small town called King Kerswell in Devon, 10 minutes from the sea. He was a curious child, fascinated with photography and landscapes.
Next bestseller, obviously.
Exactly, next bestseller. One day he moved to Bologna. Okay.
That could be that would be an interesting one. That would be a cool thing for the teachers to do, like write a
Wouldn't it?
5-minute biography about the other
Well, like
teachers.
we do sometimes in school, right? Can you
Yeah, yeah,
speculate,
yeah.
imagine who the other person in the room
That
is?
would be really cool. That would be really, really
Yeah,
cool.
agreed.
Okay, we've got, I imagine a quotation or a quote. Is there a difference?
Good
This is
question.
a genuine question. I don't know if there is a difference.
Sure. Look at this quotation. Look at this quote. I would say quote because it's quicker and easier, four
Mhm.
less letters, but
Okay, informal English, quotation is a noun, as in a quotation from Shakespeare, and quote is a verb. So she likes to quote Shakespeare. However, in everyday speech and informal English, quote is often treated as a shortened form of quotation.
nice.
The
Also,
more you know.
yeah, these are called quotation marks, right?
Hmm.
Quotation marks. So I guess it can be used as an
Exactly.
adjective too, because it's describing the marks.
Exactly. Were you taught when you were young that they were called speech marks as well?
No, quotation marks.
In England, at least my class, they were called speech marks.
Interesting.
I
And
think maybe to dumb it down a little. So
perhaps,
it's dumb
yeah,
it down is a compliment.
bunny ears, bunny ears.
Yeah, but
Awesome. Also, I learned something really interesting, Alex, the other day, which is that
hmm.
in Italian or in Italy, this is not so much done. We do that
Oh,
more
really?
in English and I think also in Spanish, not as much in Italian because I was speaking to
No
people.
way.
I said, like that. And they said,
What are
wow,
you doing?
that's such an American thing. Like they were telling me they think that they had, that's not something that Italians do as a
Really?
gesture. Yeah, like as a gesture,
But
which I
that's
think
so
is so
strange.
curious. No one had ever told me that.
That's really strange. Yeah, because
Yeah.
in English, native speakers don't usually gesticulate that much, but
Right. So
this
this
is
is
something that we
something we
do
do.
do.
Yeah, we can also say quote unquote, right?
Mm,
A
yeah,
quote unquote
exactly.
nice person or whatever. Chiara
Chiara has,
said,
yeah,
Buñuel. All right. When I was at university, we saw Le Chien d'Alou in class. Yeah. Fabulous, fabulous director.
nice,
Simón del Desierto.
very
Incredible stuff.
cool.
Yeah,
So let's have a gander at this quotation.
indeed.
Shall I read the first sentence and then you read the second and the last one?
Okay.
First one is quite long. The best moments in reading are when you come across something, a thought, a feeling, a way of looking at things, which you had thought special and particular to you.
And now, here it is, set down by someone else. a person you have never met, someone even who is long dead. And it is as if a hand has come out and taken yours.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
a quote
beautiful.
by Alan Bennett from the History.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound a bit biblical too, but
I agree with it though.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
really fascinating.
Yeah, it's lovely.
That's really cool. Let's see. Alicia has, I think, more on the bunny ears. I think that young people use it a little bit more than aged, older people. Aged sounds more like a wine, maybe.
Or a cheese, like a Parmesan cheese. In my fridge, I have a Parmesan cheese that's aged 30 months. It's delicious.
Exactly. But bunny ears are not so used in Italy. Seems like a snob way to act.
Interesting.
Snobbish. Snobbish is the adjective, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Alice. That's interesting. Yeah. So
Very
it's
interesting.
so either we're older or we're
Or
smart.
snobbish. Or
Fantastic.
we're snobbish.
Or maybe we're
Quote.
both, right? Okay.
I need to
Lovely.
pay attention now because I use that sometimes.
I do too. Yeah, it really made me think about it.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So for you, what makes a book sorry, but
A
what
good
makes a book
read.
a good read?
We
What makes
sometimes we emphasize it as well, don't we? So we do good read.
exactly
We
what
need
makes
to
a
pay
book
attention,
a good
Monique.
read? Yeah. What makes a book exceptional, right? Awesome, exceptional. Have you ever read a book which made you feel that a hand has come out and taken yours, right?
Oh wow.
Oh, Alicia says it is like the talk with my hand act. Yeah, I
I
love
like this.
hearing. I think it's great in any language. Using your hands to speak helps us express ourselves, right?
Definitely. Definitely.
So, Alex, for you, what makes a book a good read? Good read.
Something that you can get lost in, something that takes you away, and I not something that lulls you into something, but something that kidnaps you into that world, like
Mhm.
takes you, not a passive thing.
No, I
It
agree.
has to be
Something really
unapologetic.
grabs you, right? That you can't put it down. You just I
Exactly.
love that feeling. For example, when flying, if flying, for long flights, when I have a good book, it's amazing. It's just amazing because
Definitely.
the flight goes like this, right?
Yeah. No.
Love good books. Yeah, exactly. A page turner, a book you can't put down. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So
They're the best.
no, definitely. If I
They're
think of
the.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you just
They're
go
so,
in and
that's
you're
so
there.
fun.
You're trapped. You're in that.
It's fantastic.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Exactly.
It's really
Exactly.
the art of writing a novel, no, the art of imagining a world that then you bring the reader into, and they're there. There's what I
Yeah.
like about it, like I think any art that's done well kind of brings you into it, and you're not thinking about your daily what you are going to have for lunch or these kind of daily things. You're enraptured and totally immersed by this whatever it is.
Definitely. Definitely. I also feel that if an author, like if a book is really good, is because the author lives to a certain degree in that world. It's
Mhm.
basically an invitation into their own world.
Yeah,
They've done their research if they need to. They've
yeah.
really gone into depth. They haven't just created the characters, but
No,
also the world around it.
my friend is a writer and she lives in Barcelona, and she wrote her first novel recently.
Uh-huh.
And it was fascinating to see her process of, aside from the different versions, but also how she developed all the characters
Yeah,
and their interactions. It's so intense of a
I
process, you
know.
know.
I
It's
know.
really
It,
fascinating.
the thing is, a person might just think, okay, you've written a character, you've given them a name, you've given them a personality, But not just that, they've also thought about how they grew up, where they come from, all of the things that they've had in their life. It's just, it's so
Right.
engaging.
I'm sorry again to do the bunny ears, but character development, right? Character development is developing the characters in a story, in a book, in a play, in a movie.
And we also have world building. That's world building.
Interesting.
It's something that you can do. I've never done it personally with any language that I've learned, but I think could be a very, very cool thing to do. Is basically just invent a world and write a paragraph about it. Try and explore using some new vocabulary. It doesn't need to make sense. I mean, you are God, essentially. Create the world, do what you want with it. It could be a flamingo planet.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Let's see. Lavinia says, as the quotation says, I like books in which I can identify with the author's words or with the character's feelings. That's what happens to me, or that's what is happening to me with Fever Pitch. Oh, cool. Yeah.
All right, really cool. Fever Pitch is a nice play on words as well. Because we say that. So fever pitch is when you are you go a little crazy, kind of. You become a little bit of a zealot almost.
Yeah.
And pitch is obviously the pitch where you play football
or baseball.
What was that? Baseball. Nice.
So in fact, the person who pitches is the pitcher, right? So you have the baseball.
Yeah. Is that a real baseball as well?
No, it's a gummy baseball. It's a soft baseball. But it is a real soft baseball. So
nice.
Cool, huh? Cool. I'm always ready with my baseball. I love it.
You really are. And Alicia says that in her opinion, a good book has to, obviously, good book, third person, has to describe the characters so the readers can fall in love and know the characters well. Yeah. These things, so plural, these, not this, these things are something that I also search for in a movie, for example.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's restructure a little. These things are something that I also search for in a movie. Okay.
Yeah, in fact, Alicia, this is character development. When there's good character development, then you feel like you can enter in synchronicity with the characters, right? You resonate with. That's an amazing verb that I love in the English language, to resonate with. So if I'm reading a good book, for example, this is another book I read recently by Paulo Coelho. My aunt actually gave it to me, called Adultery. And when you resonate with a book, you're reading it and going, wow, I really understand what's happening there, right? Sometimes you see yourself in a character, right?
Mm-mm. It just makes sense.
I read this book on a flight too. It made the flight go much quicker. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, let's go on to the next one in the meantime. So we've got some phrases, some new ones. Can you read the first 3 or 4? Your choice.
Sure. So what do these phrases mean? Number 1, I couldn't put it down. Number 2, I was hooked. Number 3, it's a page turner, which we saw before. And number 4, it was moving or it was gripping.
Nice. And finally, it's a bestseller based on a true story. It should be in a deep voice, like based on a true story. An avid reader.
Yeah, so tell us what these phrases mean. I'll try to read them again with that type of voice. I couldn't put it down. Then it sounds like drugs. I was hooked. It's a page turner. It was moving, gripping. It's a bestseller.
It sounds like a noir.
Yeah, exactly. We would need I have this, but that doesn't really, but based on a true story.
Oh, that's kind of cool though. That could be a recurring element, like a motif in a trailer.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like ding, and it gets quicker or louder or
from the creators of My English School webinars. A new webinar For all the avid readers out there, avid reader, I really like the word avid. You know, Avid is also the company that makes Pro Tools and Sibelius and like music
Oh,
notation.
really? No, I didn't know. I know the
Avid.
programs, but I didn't know the company.
Yeah, Avid Digidesign. Yeah. It's a
Oh,
great
wow.
word, avid.
They are Avid.
I don't use it frequently, but I really like it.
You don't avidly use Avid?
I don't avidly use. Do you avidly use Avid?
No, it's a shame. It's a real shame. It's a crying shame.
It's a crying shame, yeah. So let us know what these phrases mean. I can share another book in the meantime.
Yeah,
This
please.
one
I've got some books too.
is all about
Cumbia.
Yeah, it's a friend of mine who wrote it. It's quite cool, and it also has great. He's an excellent graphic designer, right? He makes really cool drawings. Yeah. So it's all about the history of cumbia music, and he did. There was 3 of them, and they went on a trip in South America to discover the roots of cumbia music.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. He had invited me to go, but at the time I couldn't. But yeah, it's just really cool. Look at how cool this style is, right? Very colorful, very fun, and it's about music too. So
win-win.
It's a win-win.
It like combines 3 of your passions.
Yeah.
Or maybe more as well.
So yeah. No, it's a well done book. Look how cool the back is too. The back cover. It shows the route. It started in Argentina. Where are we?
Nice.
And they went up. They went to the carnival and
no way.
They went through Peru. Oh, sorry, it's backwards here. So they went through Peru. I don't know if they went to Ecuador, but then they went to Colombia also, which is considered the birthplace of
so cool.
Isn't that awesome?
It really is.
These are all like key figures in the development of cumbia music, right? In like the popularization. Wow. Yeah, it's cool. I'm happy to lend it to you.
Really cool. Yeah.
Quarantine time, but
I think we've got our first few answers. So Alicia, I couldn't put it down. I cannot detach from the book. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's impossible. Monique?
Yeah, I was hooked. An imaginary hook captured me.
Exactly. What is a hook though? When do we use hooks? Typically.
Probably not that clear, but
that is difficult. Yes,
right. You have a hook to catch the fish. You fish, and at the end of the line is a hook. And ringer, I think we say. But yeah, to hook someone, you can be. So what was funny, Alex, in preparing this webinar, I was thinking about it, and there was a book growing up. I'm not sure if you had this in the UK, but it's called Hooked on Phonics, and it was for learning. When you're maybe like 3 or 4 years old, you're just starting to learn a language.
Yeah.
It's called Hooked on Phonics. So it's like A, apple, airport, ape, and you learn how to speak, right? You learn phonetics.
I found the anti that book.
Which is what?
It's the worst phonetics book ever because it only uses silent letters. I'll show you. So like P is for pterodactyl.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. Do you have that book?
No, I want to buy it. It's in my wish list on Amazon. I'm going to.
Can you screen share it with us?
Yeah, I'm going to screen share.
Cool.
Because it's hilarious.
Yeah, so everyone remember when there's the P, right? Like psychologist, we don't pronounce the P. Or psychotherapy or pterodactyl.
Let's look at the images. So yeah, P is for pterodactyl.
That's awesome.
T is for tsunami. K is for night.
Sure.
M is for mnemonic. And C is for za.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. I want to get it just because it's one of those books that it's just entertaining.
Yeah.
It's well done.
That's genius. Did it just come to you now or you knew about it before?
No. I've had it in my wish list for a few months, I think.
That's fabulous. I love it. And let's see, we have doesn't allow me to escape from what I'm reading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's hooked. So yeah, while fishing, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It was moving, gripping. Yeah, you were fascinated. Good self-correction.
So to grip is, for example, if I grip this ball, you know those stress balls where you're like,
Yeah,
it's to grip, have a
yeah,
hold. You want to have a strong hold of something or a grip,
exactly.
right? So
So
if the book
your
is,
grip is this is this strength in your hands, okay?
yeah.
To hold things. That's your grip. So obviously we use grip all of the time. If I didn't grip this bottle, it would fall, right? You
Yes.
can grip it softly, you can grip it hard, but if a book or something grips you, it takes you essentially again.
Yeah. For example, I have a chess tournament tomorrow, no, on Friday, and this
You
is my
do?
manual. So maybe this book is, I'm gripping the book. It's a gripping book. I can't put it down. I need to study and get ready, which is not actually true because I find it very difficult to learn from this particular book. I like the first half, but the second half, I haven't
Are there
gotten.
lots of schematics?
There's schematics, and what they ask you to do is set up the chessboard at home exactly the same way. But
Oh,
there's a
wow.
website called lichess, which is lichess.org, which has these really cool tutorials online. So I'm
It's
perhaps
more interactive.
it's more
That's the
interactive.
thing.
Yeah, it's really well made.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It says it's a
Definitely.
page turner, a charming novel, I guess. Nice adjective, charming. Yeah.
Yeah.
But page turner is not necessarily charming, right? Charm
No.
means it charms you. It's enchanting, right?
Hmm.
It is something special for you, right? Whereas a page turner means it's very similar to I couldn't put it down,
Yeah, exactly. Because
right?
it turns the page by itself. You almost don't physically need to go to the next page because it just happens.
Yeah, for example, my chess manual is not a page turner. This book by Paulo Coelho is a page turner. I mean, it probably took me 3 hours to read from the beginning to the end, and that's it. I finished, put it away.
Yeah.
Actually, I might give it to the library. I mean, I don't know. I might donate
Can
it.
you say it reads itself? I know you can say it writes itself, but
Yeah,
reads
sure.
itself? I don't
If
see
it
why
looks in a
not.
mirror, but if it looks in a mirror, it can read itself. Otherwise, how can it be reflexive? Can it read itself?
I don't know if a book can read itself. I think you could say that if it's such a page turner that it reads itself.
I mean, there's always poetic license too.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Because
sure.
we can say it writes itself is something that's normal.
Yeah.
Like it's very easy to write. It writes itself.
A good song writes itself. A good
Yeah.
book writes itself. A good script writes itself. Yeah, for sure.
Would you say it plays itself? Like if the music is so intuitive,
Maybe the music, maybe
it's
the
very
instrument is
poetic
so nice
license, I think. That's
that
the
it plays
thing.
itself. Yeah. What about the last one? An avid reader. What does the adjective avid mean? An avid. I
Someone
kind of,
who's,
it sounds like what it is. An avid reader. Avid.
yeah,
Guess, and we have about a minute and a half left.
exactly.
So if you have any last minute questions or anything you want to share, so let us know, what is an avid reader? Avid.
Avid.
And the you would not pronunciation, but the emphasis. Alex is
Avid.
an avid reader.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice, Alice. Yes,
Hungry.
yes,
Nice.
excellent.
That's a perfect
Yeah.
adjective.
Are you an avid reader, Alex?
When I was young, I was an avid read. Like I devoured books. So hungry is
Mhm.
really, really good.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I absolutely demolished them. Now, not so much. Just because life gets in the way, I think.
So true. Life does get in the way. Yeah.
A
I would say
little.
I've never been quite an avid reader, but when I want to do research on something, then yes. Then I
Okay.
become an avid reader and just start reading
Full
up.
focus.
Yeah,
Nice.
for sure. So
Very,
everyone
very good.
remember that there's the mYes SOS Facebook group, which you can always go
Yes.
onto and interact. I see in the banner too, it says, remember, follow us on Right.
My English school Facebook, so the SOS page, and
Mhm.
Instagram too. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Good
Fill your
call.
life with English.
Exactly. So, everyone, have a fantastic day, a fantastic lunch.
Exactly.
Enjoy your reading whenever it is, the morning, the evening, during lunch,
At
and
night, if you're a night owl,
in the middle of the night. Wake up, read some.
enjoy.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have a very
you.
nice day.
Bye,
Cheers.
everyone. Bye.